Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. So what's going on here? Of course, got another bike on the lift, but there's a lot of craziness going on in this world, isn't there? Yeah, with the whole virus thing happening worldwide, what are you gonna do? I still get bikes in though, so people still want their stuff being worked on, and that's what I'm doing today. So today I'm going to work on these valves, and I thought, you know what, why not throw a live stream out here, chat with a few of you guys out there. So you know, my shop setup here, you guys are pretty familiar with the shop setup, but where I'm looking at it right now on this valves, you know, when I'm doing the valves, I'm not going to be able to answer any of your questions because my computer screens are on the other side of the shop. They're up over there. As you can see, there's the screens of what I have to look at in order to see your questions. Anyway, if you got questions, do put them up there. If you guys want to, you know, see a little more of what's going on. Anyway, why don't we just get going on this job? So what I got here is a K1200 LT. It's going to be pretty much the same for all of these K1200 models. On this one in particular, you got to remove the bar. You know, if you want to watch my video that I have already put out, the one where I do this job, show you how to adjust the valves, show you how to do it, you know, just in a shorter format. Well, that video is certainly available. Probably a lot of you guys have already watched that video. Anyway, I'm going to be knocking around the camera, I'm certain, because I didn't prep at all for this. I just thought, you know what, I might as well throw up a video here, and yeah, let's just get after it. So I got to remove these things. I got to get some tools, so I got to step in front of the camera and make myself a nuisance. I get rid of my jacket too. Starting to get warm finally in the shop. It's getting warmer outside. So I didn't get any of my tools ready. I didn't get any of the prep work ready. It's just like real life. Oh wait, this is real life. So this bike here, this bike has got so many electrical add-ons on it. It even has like snipped wires and stuff. I have no idea what these go to. There are so many things on this thing. Hopefully I don't make a mess out of it. Make matters worse. So this particular bike is actually from Maryland. The guy sent it here on a shipper. If you guys want me to work on your bike, just know that I am in Crystal Lake, Illinois. And you'll have to, you know, figure out either how to get it here or get yourself here with the bike, whatever. That happens quite a bit. I get a lot of guys that come from all around the US and Canada for me to work on the bike, on their bikes, and I'm glad to do so. It's kind of like I've turned this into a little cottage industry, I guess. Hopefully it's not too loud in the camera. All right, one of the first things I do is I like to just inspect everything where it's at. I like to take a look at the all the spark plug wires, see what kind of condition they're in. Oh, this one's got a piece of tape on the wire. That's interesting. Have to check that out. I might need a new set of wires. I don't think that's the right size. Gotta get more tools. If I can find them. Yeah, there we go. Oh, one more thing. All right. Should be about ready now. Except for an extension. Gosh darn it. I forget everything. Alright, hopefully I got everything that I need for a while. I like to break all these loose by hand before I hit them with the speed ratchet, just in case something strips out. You know, as these bikes get older, I've run into it more and more where one of these bolts will strip out the hole inside there, and then I got to put some kind of a helicoil in there to fix it. So how many of you guys are out there are stuck at home due to this, you know, whether it's a layoff or you can work from home, whatever, you know, you're not home by choice, but are you home because of this worldwide crisis that we've got going on? Or maybe you're just home because you want to be home. Me, I work at home, so this is where I work. It looks the same here every day. Come on. Okay. Now the way I like to do this is, you know, a lot of times when you do these valves, they're not going to need to be adjusted. So if the seal has been holding up pretty darn well, I like to try to keep that intact. So I use a really, thin pry tool or little spatula, and I get in behind the gasket, on this side of the gasket, and I just kind of run it around and break the seal and not remove the gasket unless I absolutely need to, and then I don't have to put on new RTV and everything. That's only if it's not leaking. If it's showing signs of leakage, then then I'm going to take it off. Or if one of the pieces does come loose anyway, regardless. There we go. If one of the little ears, those little 4 ears that are on here, come out, then I'm going to remove the whole thing and fix it anyway. So right now it's looking pretty good. Place your bets. I'll go look at the board and see what kind of stuff you guys have thrown up there. Yeah, Isa, I see you'd like one of these ratchets. Yeah, I was glad to get this thing. This is not new. I actually I picked this up on Facebook Live, or Facebook Marketplace, not Facebook Live. Facebook Marketplace. A good purchase. Kind of goes along with my 14.4 stuff that I have purchased new, and I'm glad to have it. So looking at these valves right away, I can see this one is almost in the 0 position, so that's where I'm going to start. Just going to make sure the transmission's in neutral, which it is, and I'm going to get my wrench. Where's my wrench? There we go. So just going to move it, just bump it just a little bit up to get it better in line with the valves themselves, so they're sticking straight out. And what I like to do is I've got 2 sets of these, so I don't have to constantly fumble with them. I just put them in, positions like that, and just go through and start checking the valves. So these are at 15s, those are good. There's 20, good, good. And it's just a go, no go on those. And then we've got the 25-30s for the exhaust valves. So 25s, good. Yep, good, good, good. So that one's all right. Now we just rotate it out. Now you guys can, don't, I'm using a wrench. You guys don't have to use a wrench if you don't want. If you want to, put it into high gear and bump the tire, you can. But this is a okay way to do it. If this chain is strong enough to be able to handle the engine while it's running, it's going to be strong enough to be able to turn the engine over. You only want to turn it over in one direction. If you turn it backwards, it sounds really awful. It makes like a weird, like a gear noise, like gears are just kind of meshing together in the wrong direction. They're not, it's not bad for it. It doesn't hurt anything really, but you just want to move it in one direction. So in this one, I'm going to move in the only up. So in the counterclockwise position. Now I'm just going to turn it a quarter turn You know, I haven't removed the plugs. I don't really need to remove them yet. I'll remove them if I wind up having to adjust one of the spark plugs. I'm going to remove them anyway because I'm going to change the plugs, but I don't want anything, you know, if there's like a big carbon buildup or something, it might fall down onto one of these exhaust valves, and then it might throw it off a little bit. So for now, I'm going to leave them in. There we go. So here we go again, 15. It's right there. That one's good. That's, and that one's, this one's just a little tiny bit on the loose side. It would be right at, you know, you can do it by feel, but it's right at 0.20 on that valve, which is fine. That would be one that I would leave. It's on the outside of the spec. And this one, good, good. I can tell it's going to be fine. Yep, it's good. Rotate again. One more. After this. Good. Looks good. Yeah, it was getting... It is right there. It's 25. That one's pretty close. So this one being so close right now, I can get the feeler in there. It's probably 0.1 or something. It's probably like 24. That one's really borderline. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta think about that one. It's really, I can still get it in there. So if I couldn't get it in there, I would change it. So, you know, if you change it, if I were to swap this bucket out of here, it's going to move it 0.5. And that's going to push it all the way to the opposite end. It's going to be right on the barely loose side. I don't know. We'll see. See if there's any others to do. It's got good compression. Uh-oh. That one is pretty sticky. Ooh, both of those are really sticky. Yeah, that's 0.15 right there. I cannot get that in there. Nope. You know, out of all the valves I do, this one, this set right here, always seems to be the worst. I don't know why. This one always is the tightest of all of them. And when they're too tight like this, I think those are going to have to get swapped out. Damn it. Well, I guess it's bonus footage for you guys to see me change that. Wrong one. Good. Good. That's fine. That one there absolutely needs to be changed. All right. I'll go check to see if there's any interesting questions on there. And then I will get going on swapping out those cam buckets. Hopefully I have what I need. I should. I've got a pretty extensive supply here, so be right back. I gotta get some other stuff anyway for this job. Good. I changed my light battery too. Okay, put my hook tool in here, pop that baby off. I'm going to go ahead now and pull these plugs out, as well as remove the gasket, because I didn't think I was going to need to remove the gasket, but now with it being out of spec, I'm going to have to take the gasket off so I can get to that bolt that's on the back side, on the end of the cam. And I have lost my tools again. Sometimes I think I need those extensions on my table down here. I need extensions so that I can pile even more crap on here. So move, Mike. I see you're asking me if the gasket's any good. Yes, the gasket is still just fine. This one came off really easy. It was that was pretty nice. That came off nice. Has almost no silicone on it either. It's really clean. It's practically a brand new one as it is. Sadly, though, it needs an adjustment. pretty good. Kind of a weird white tip on there. I think I'm gonna have to put my glasses on to look at that one. Okay, I'm gonna move you guys a little bit, just for a minute. Gotta see where the top dead center is. Not coming up yet. Gotta spin this thing around 180. So a good way to check on these things where the top dead center is you'll see there's like a little pie-shaped spot in the gears. And I'm going to double check it, but when this gets up into the horizontal position, that's pretty much right there. The other way too is on the end of the cams over here, there's two notches. When those notches are pointing straight in, again, another good indicator. So there's a special tool that BMW makes that goes here and will fit into those notches if you're, changing out it's basically timing marks. So, if you have to change the cams and you have to pull the chain off and all that kind of stuff. And let's roll right over. There we go. Go just a little bit further than I wanted. All right, yeah, right about there. Now I got to pull this plug out that's underneath here and put a pin in the cam chain tensioner. So I got to go get that. Sometimes I wish these things, this little drill bit that I use had an indicator on it. See how far it goes down. I think it's there, but I better double check it. All right, it's there. A little stick here. Oh yeah, we're there. Some of you may be asking, why does he put two zip ties on there? Well, in case one breaks, which isn't likely, but you never know. And I would rather have double the protection on this thing if one of them broke than not have any. And then, you know, risk the chain coming off and throwing it out of timing, and it would be a mess. I just don't need that hassle. So it's the only reason I put two zip ties on here. They're cheap. It's a cheap insurance. Never had one break yet, but some of you guys maybe have. Especially if you buy those, like those Harbor Freight ones. I think those are kind of cheapy, or the white nylon ones. Anyway, all right. Let me get a few other tools here, because I don't have enough just sitting here in front of me. And then I will continue on. Now they're landing on the ground. So, little side note, another weird job that I have to do on this particular bike. I have to change the oil pan, of all things. The oil pan is the bolt that goes in here on the drain is all stripped out, and it's just loose. Somebody fixed it inappropriately, and well, it's not working correctly. So I got a used drain pan, and I got to change that out. That's tomorrow's work. All right, where's my cutters? I am really unprepared for this video. Usually when I do a video, I have like all my tools in place. I have everything ready to go, so I don't have to look around for anything. Not this time. You're seeing how it really is now. I see you'd leave those ears on, so yeah, you'd not forget to do that. I think there's not too much of a chance that I will forget to do that. Even if I said it now, I still don't think I'm going to forget. I like to double check a lot of things. Should probably put some music on or something so you guys know that this video is still working. The audio. It's so quiet in here. I'm not used to working in this silence. I have a pretty dynamic sound system in here. For those of you guys who've actually been to my shop, you can attest that my all Bose sound system with 2 subwoofers, it can get pretty loud in here. My wife will come home from work and she'll be like, I could hear you out in the street. I'm like, perfect. That sounds just right then. If it's too loud, you're too old, right? I know some of you guys out there, probably like Rich, you'd probably be like, oh, I don't like that loud music. Just trying to get some of these loosened up. Okay, so what I do here now is I take off, got to take off this black thing and then drop the gear off of here. So do any of you guys out there have the coronavirus? Or know somebody that does? I personally know that I don't have it. And I pretty much know I'm not going to get it either. Because I don't come in contact that much with too many people in person. I am kind of disappointed by what I feel is the reaction or the overreaction so many people are having. The panic buying, that whole nonsense. I am not part of that crowd. Nor will I ever be. My wife won't be either. Alright. Let's get that off of there. So if you move the cam just a little bit, you can get this gear off a lot easier. You know, you can feel when it kind of falls off of there. And then you can pull just this one off. I think in my main video, I might show that, you know, you pull off both of these at the same time, but you really don't need to. As you can see, I just pulled that off, and then I can just let this lay down here. You just got to kind of watch. So up at the top of this, you might not be able to see it in the video, but right up at the top here, the chain will kind of get stuck on the case, and you just leave it lay there until you move the cam away, and then that part will fall down. You just got to make sure to put it back up there just to make your life easier, just prior to reinstalling it. And somebody's calling me. I forgot to turn my phone off. See, I'm totally unprepared. I'll be right there, guys. We'll put some music on quietly. I don't want to upset the YouTube overlords. So Moog Mike, I see your one of your coworkers is not doing well. That is not cool. They need to be taking a huge regimen of zinc. And I learned today that the quinine or quinine, I don't know how to say that word, but stuff that's in tonic, like a gin and tonic or a vodka tonic, that is one of the main ingredients in that chloroquine that they've been talking about as a potential cure. So, kind of exciting stuff. So go out and buy yourself some tonic. Maybe mix in a little lime and some of your favorite tasty stuff. I see one of you guys out there has a bourbon virus. I have that virus as well. It's really tragic. I enjoy a good bourbon for sure. Also like vodka tonics though too, and gin and tonics. I like beer. I'm just a regular guy. Regular guy that just works on BMWs. So I like to just hold the cam in place so that way it doesn't fall out on the floor, and I don't lose the orientation that the caps go in. So my probably can't see in the camera the table, but I take them off just one at a time, set them down in order. We'll pull the cam out. Set that down. And there's all my wonderful cam buckets. I gotta go get a magnet. So I didn't grab that either. Nate, I agree with you. It's an expensive virus to have. But it is rewarding, though. If you're drinking anything right now, let me know. One of my absolute favorites out there that has pretty much become unobtainium is Elmer T. Lee. And some of you guys out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Elmer T. Lee. So good. So, this first one that I pulled off is a 3.0. So, I need to make that one a little smaller with a 295. I won't even pretend to be able to hope that you can see the inside there. I'm just take my word for it. It's a 3.0. And we got another one, same thing, 3.0. Hopefully I got 2.95s. That would stink if I didn't. I think I do though. All right. Boy, is he lucky. Let me get some assembly lube. So just some little assembly lube here on this. Okay. So we just make sure that the notch is pointing in toward the engine, because that's approximately where it needs to go. Put a little lube on this thing. Lift up my chain. And set these things back in place. Hold on a minute. I gotta think of something. All right. I start second guessing myself. I don't like that. Probably haven't had enough to drink. Ignore that. Come on. There it goes. Alright, so I'm going to just sort of just start snugging these up a little bit. Not going to tighten them down. I'll torque them properly in just a moment. But I want to get them just to the point where they start to touch. Alright. Torque them down. Somebody wants me to turn up the background music? I'd love to. Not even sure what's playing right now. Hopefully the algorithm doesn't pick it up. Alright, let's get that chain back on there. Actually, I have to angle that up a little bit. There we go. Put that thing in there, kind of slide it all together in one motion. Alright, what's the hold up here? There we go. Alright, you guys got to take a look in there to see where your pin is and then where your notch is, and then just kind of line it up along with it. So that's where the wrench comes in, and you just kind of roll it into place. Once you roll it into place, and you can get your bolt on there. Just double check it. Yep, looks good. Get your bolt in there. Alright, what I do here now is I start rolling this in and kind of shake this around a little bit. That way you know you're not getting it misaligned. And once you get it snugged up, you can kind of snug it down kind of good, and then you finish it off with the torque wrench. I think it's 43 Newton meters, but I'm going to go double check on my little handy chart, which you can buy on eBay. Glad I looked. It's 56. Bogus, I see your comment on there about Snap-on versus Harbor Freight. I got to tell you, not a chance. As a professional, would I rely on a Harbor Freight tool for this kind of work? No way. Even if it is as accurate, it may not stay as accurate. This one I've had calibrated. In fact, I just had it calibrated, and it is within point. What was it in? It was like 0.4% accuracy. It was so close, it was inconsequential. So I'll be glad to spend the big bucks on the expensive tools, especially when I'm working on somebody else's bike. And you'd be thankful that if I was working on your bike, you'd be thankful that I had good quality tools that I can rely on. Because it kind of takes it out of the equation. Takes the guesswork out. I do think Harbor Freight makes okay tools for some things. Like their breaker bars, they're really good. Their jacks, I have one myself, it works fantastic. But I think like these calibrated tools, no way. Alright, just gotta clip these out of the way. Pull my pin out and roll this thing around. Make sure everything, so you want to roll it just to make sure that nothing is binding up. And you know, you want to keep an eye on your gear, make sure that it is running straight. If it has any kind of a wobble in it, you did something wrong and you got to stop and you got to fix that. I've seen the horror stories. It's never happened to me, but I've seen the horror stories of this bolt running itself out while the engine's running. And then you know what happens. It's grenade time. Alright. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Alright, they're at the other end of the spectrum now, so that's all good. Since I'm not over at my computer, I do appreciate the compliments of I make it look easy. This job's not really overly complicated. It does take a little bit of, I've done a lot of these, so it's, you know, kind of a practice thing at this point. Let's check this thing out, see what's going on here. Why is there a piece of tape on here? I don't really know why there's a tape on there. Looks okay. There's a little bit of shiny spot on there, but it looks alright. Oh, not bad at all. Alright, let me back you guys up a little bit. Get a little broader view. So this one down here that was right on the edge of being tight, I mean, if the guy brings it back to me, I'll have records of it and I'll be able to check it myself to see if it's changed at all, if it gets a little bit too tight. But I'll make it known to the customer that this particular one was just right at the edge of being tight. So keep an eye on that one for the next time that he changes it. And the intervals that I like to do is on valves that if I have to make a change on a valve, I would like to check it again at 12,000 miles. If I didn't have to make any changes at all, and all of them were well within spec, I usually let them go for 24 before I check them again. Now you guys out there can do whatever you want, but I'm just telling you what I do, because once you get them adjusted out to a certain point, they really don't change very much. They just don't have a tendency to get out of whack on their own. And you know what, they just keep going and going. These engines are good for hundreds of thousands of miles. And in fact, I had one in here last year that had like 200,000 miles on it, and all the valves were still in spec. He uses the same oil that I do, and it just works. You know, they just keep going. I know a lot of you guys out there watching me around the world, you guys are super fans of this bike, and probably for good reason. You know, it just keeps working. I love this thing. I love this brick engine. It's easy enough to work on. It just keeps going and going. So just gotta change. I gotta put these on the rest of the way, and then get the gasket on here and get her going. I'll double check all of my my torques on the ones that I took off and put it back together. We'll get the silicone. Alright, last thing I'm going to do is double check this cam sprocket. Nate thought it was off, but I will double check it, because that's the last damn thing I need, is that coming loose. Should have you guys watching me all the time. No, I don't know. Alright. 56. May have been a little loose. I don't know. Glad you caught that. Thank you. All right, everything's double checked now. And I think I left the gasket stuff. So I just take a little tiny bit of the black and put it in the corners, and I kind of draw it across the little half moon thing here. So if your gasket's in pretty good shape, you don't have to go greasing the whole thing up with silicone. You can really, you just got to use these corners here. This is where you get the leak. Sometimes you'll get a leak down in here, but if your gasket is like new, like this one is, you really don't need to do that. This one still has all the edges on it. Almost feel like this one was never checked. There we go, just slam those into place. No plugs. Perfect. Alright. Let's play What Did Kirk Do with the Tools again. I'm done with this. I'll go over and go through your questions, check them out. So this bike actually came in here, well, you know, it came in here for a tune-up and all this kind of stuff, but the big job on this one is it's in here for a clutch. The guy took it to a BMW dealer and had the clutch done about 8,000 miles ago, and it's already slipping. So I will be finding out what happened tomorrow when I take the transmission off. That's why you don't see the exhaust down here. Is I did all the prep work for getting the transmission out. I just decided to check the valves. Anyway, it's 8,000 miles and the thing starts slipping, and I can see a little bit of oil right here. You can see there's oil on my finger. That is from right between the clutch, or the transmission and the engine. I don't think they changed the rear main seal. So, way to waste the guy's money. They're a BMW dealer, wherever that is. In Maryland, maybe. Maybe it was some other shop. I don't know. It wasn't me. I know that if I'm going to go through all the trouble of changing out the clutch, I'm sure as hell going to change that O-ring at least back there. If not the whole seal and the transmission seal as well, because those things are just inevitable that it will start leaking. I'm really surprised they didn't do that. You know, the guy would have been charged a whole extra, maybe $100 or something. You know, $65 in labor at that time. But whatever. No, I get to do it. All right. get a set of plugs. So one question that was asked there, Bogus, asked me what kind of oil do I use. I have a whole video on all the oils and everything I use, but I do use 1 quart of that right there, which is VR1 racing oil. This has a higher zinc content. See, high zinc. Has a 1 quart of this, and then 3 quarts of any conventional 2050 in this one. So I make my own mix there. And the reason I use a little bit higher zinc is because the valves are going right against these metal valve buckets, and it gives it just a little bit of added protection without compromising the catalytic converter. So catalytic converters do not mix well with high zinc. That's why on like muscle cars and stuff, you know, there's no catalytic converters on there, or they're just there as a sort of a perfunctory, you know, to pass emissions, and like, oh yeah, they're there, but they really don't work. So anyway, you don't want anything to clog up the catalytic converter. Zinc can do that, especially if you get a lot of blow-by. If your engine starts getting more worn out. This doesn't do that, so that's why I use it. Anyway, changing out the spark plugs now. 6046s. I like those. They work really well. Some of you guys like to put anti-seize on there, on the plugs. It doesn't call for it, so I don't do it. What I do is I tighten it down, loosen it up, and then I'll torque it. So I kind of give it a little bit of a pre-smash on that little gasket ring that's around the spark plug. Don't need to gap these; they're already gapped from the factory. Just take a look at them as you're putting them in. Make sure there's nothing wrong with them, like they're not, you know, you didn't drop them or smash them or anything. Usually they're pretty good. All this stuff, all these supplies that you see, except for those valve buckets, you can find those on my Amazon page. Right down in the description below this video. My mess is epic on my bench here, my table. Alright. Oh, I don't have a long enough extension on there. $20 Newton meters on the spark plugs. All right. That's all she wrote. Take a few of your questions. All right, I'm glad that more than one person likes the music I got going on. All right, so what engine oil did I use? I already covered that. Nice to be able to learn tricks and time savers. Yeah, cool. Appreciate that. Nate, you are definitely stalker certified. It's hard when you don't know English. So, for those of you guys that don't know English, hopefully you can get somebody to translate it for you. But I don't know if it works on the live stream. Probably doesn't work like as I'm talking it live. But when the video is archived, you can click down below, like right in that bar that's at the bottom of the window that's open. There's a little CC button down there, and you can change it to whatever language that you want. It will. Google has so many different languages, and they work really good on YouTube. I've seen my, as I'm talking, sometimes if I'm watching my own video, I'll change it to Italian or whatever, Czechoslovakian or Russian, whatever. It reads it out. So there is a way to change it. It's in the little CC button. So use your closed captioning. It works. All right. What else we got? Nothing else. My glass here is empty. I think I need something in it. Maybe some bourbon. Oh, one of my Nate, I see it says there. One of your fears of owning the LT is the alarm battery dying when on the road. Oh Lord, help me! Now you've gotten me started on that stupid alarm. Yes, there is a way. Oh, I don't know if there's a way to. Yeah, I think there is a way to remove the alarm. To disable the alarm. Nate, if you send me, or any of you guys out there that are wondering how to turn off the alarm, I do have a diagram on how to do that. Now, I've not done it. I haven't made a video on how to disable the alarm. But if you want me to send you a picture of a diagram on how to disable that stupid thing, just send me an email. Go on kirksmotorrod.com and go to the contact page, shoot me an email, and I will send you back that picture of the alarm bypass. And it was sent in to me by somebody out there that watches my videos and said, hey, if you ever need this, here's how you do it. I really wish that BMW didn't put that stupid alarm system on there. Here in the US, we don't really, I suppose there's areas where it might be a problem that, you don't want people possibly getting into your boxes, but that bike is pretty big and intimidating. They don't get stolen that often, and there's just no call for that damn alarm. Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut it off here, and it's already almost 6 o'clock my time, p.m. And yeah, stop the video here. Thanks so much for watching. Do check my links below. If you appreciate my videos, then definitely check out Patreon. I could really use the help there. And also, of course, donations or buy my poster, my t-shirts, anything like that. All that stuff is a help to me, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all of you guys watching today. And yeah, double checking my work. It's always good. Love it. See you guys on the next one. Of course, now I can't find my mouse, so I gotta stop the stream.